Okay, so let's do a post-mortem on that little Minneapolis Moline BF that we did a What'll It Bring video on late last week. If you're just joining us, it was a clean little guy that had been restored about 10 or 12 years ago. Nice little 25-horse tractor, originally built in 1952, and it sold on a collector auction in Mondovi, Wisconsin this past Saturday. Guesses were, like they always are, all over the board. Most of them between somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 3K, give or take. Plus a few of you who really thought this one was going to set the world on fire and guessed, well, quite a bit higher. Well, after it was all said and done, this little fella hammered home for about $1,200 after the fees and stuff like that. Honestly, it was a little less than I expected as well. So somebody got this one bought right. But I got to thinking about what could have had an effect on the sale price, and I think I've narrowed it down to maybe 4-ish things. I don't know how well advertised that sale was. I know there was an ad that popped up in my personal Facebook Reels, but I think I only saw it once or twice. Could have been an algorithm thing because I work in the auction space. I fit that demographic. But I don't know how the auctioneer chose their target audience. I'd be curious to see if any of you in the comments remembered any ads for that sale popping up in your feed. If you got served up something in Reels or, a static or something like that. I will also add, along those same lines, that Minneapolis Molines have a little bit more niche market, and it is harder to isolate those buyers if you're running digital ads. I know this. This is a little inside baseball, but if I'm building an audience for an ad, there's an option in Meta's Audience Builder for people who are nutty about green or red tractors. But there's not an option to market to some of the other brand faithful, Moline or Oliver or Alice. And I suppose that's the nature of the beast. It could have been the fact that the restoration was a little bit older. That could have turned off a few buyers because they want something fresh. This one also didn't have a 3-point hitch either. And I guess that could have made it a little less useful to a buyer who it would have made it pretty much useless to a buyer who wanted to take it to a plow day or something. Also, I know that it was pretty hot in Mondovi this weekend, and even though they had a tent to keep the bidders out of the sun, that could have turned a few of them away. Regardless of any of that, though, somebody got a bargain on a neat little tractor, and I wouldn't be super surprised if it stayed somewhat local. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.